Happy New Comic Day, comic fans. Welcome to another New Comic Day Blast, the weekly show where we run down news from around the comic book industry, got some recommendations for cool books out in stores and digital storefronts, and occasionally show off a new comic haul. But first, let's jump into the news, and as you can hear, you hear that? Yes, that's right. The sweet sounds of punches and kicks, because gear up for some martial arts action, baby, because Marvel just dropped the news that they're bringing 2 new titles coming January, a one-shot and the 6-issue miniseries of some sweet martial arts action. And that's right. And we're going to start with my man, Shang-Chi, who's the man right now. Got a movie in the works and is in the middle of a series right now. So Shang-Chi, he's just a dude right now. He's back, popular, bringing his status back up. So we got the news that he's going to have a one-shot coming in January. It's called Legend of Shang-Chi. Alyssa Wong and Andy Tong teaming up to bring Shang-Chi, Lady Deathstrike, which is a fantastic pairing. It almost reminds me of the Acts of Evil from way back, and then the annuals from last year. Kind of these interesting pairings of heroes and villains. So someone's been stealing these weapons that carry WMD, weapons of mass destruction potential, and Lady Deathstrike is involved. Now, I don't know if she's the key player or if she's just kind of connected to the person who's really behind it, but Shang-Chi is like, hey, you know what? I gotta stop it. Oh, look at this. Lady Deathstrike is in the mix there. Shang-Chi, obviously one of the best martial artists in the Marvel Universe. Lady Deathstrike, a formidable killer and fighter of her own, who is just been fantastic. She had a lot of, obviously paired up with Wolverine for the most part, but has definitely held her own and has been involved with other characters and storylines throughout the Marvel Universe and her history. So I'm looking forward to this interesting pair. Again, just a one-shot coming in January. The only question I had with it is why a one-shot when he already has a series? I feel like if this could have been an annual, that'd be one thing, because you're like, okay, you know what you get with an annual, because it's just like this one-off story kind of connected to an ongoing series for the most part. Going back to the Acts of Evil annuals from last year, which weren't even connected to any series for the most part. But like, why have that? So it's like, okay, so his already running series is obviously they had plans for that. So it's like, okay, I could have seen if it was just an annual, like connected to it, or maybe like, okay, insert Alyssa Wong and Andy Tong in as a new creative team at a certain point, and then have this be a story that kind of kicks off their run or something like that. But they just want to do a one shot, and I don't know, whatever. But it sounds cool. I like Shang-Chi, I like Lady Deathstrike, so I'm curious to see what Alyssa and Andy do with this. So yeah, Legend of Shang-Chi, January 2021, Marvel Comics. Now, another popular martial artist in the Marvel Universe, Iron Fist, coming back with a 6-issue miniseries, Iron Fist, Heart of the Dragon, and he's back in Kunlun, and some menace is killing off all the dragons that power, obviously, this, the Imperial Cities or something like that. So this force killing off all those dragons, and Iron Fist, Danny Rand, is teaming up with the Deadly Weapons to put a stop to it. So we got a mini-series, some sweet martial arts action again, which I always enjoy in comics, especially because what you can do with storytelling, like I'm gonna say not the limits, but just the limitless possibilities of the visual storytelling that can go with martial arts is fantastic. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. And then from the one shot with Shang-Chi to a miniseries. So you can gear up for a lot of martial arts action come January from Marvel Comics. Shang-Chi, Iron Fist, let's do it. I'm interested. Let's see what happens with Kunlun. And Iron Fist has just had a few, because he had the legacy. He had his legacy series. Shang-Chi had a couple issues at least, or maybe just one legacy issue, and then another short series, whatever. I don't think it was a mini series. I think it was just a short series from 3 years ago, give or take, 4 years ago. So he's back, mini series. Let's see what they do with this, and looking forward to see what's going on, what's happening with the dragons, and who or what is behind the killing of these dragons. So that's Iron Fist, Heart of the Dragon, January 2021, Marvel Comics. Now let's jump into some recommendations, because I feel like I say this a lot, but it's because it's usually true. There is a ton of books out there this week, like so many books, mainstream, indie books, tons of new debuts out as well, and some follow-up issues from previous debuts that dropped not too long ago. So we're gonna jump over to Vault Comics, because yes, here it is, Giga #1. This book, which apparently has just been hot all over Twitter, and people have been talking about it. It's been sold out. They've been doing all these like retailers have been dropping all these bundles for all the variants, and just like getting a lot of praise from different creators and people who read it early. So it's just got a lot of buzz, and like Vault's putting a lot into it. Like, you know, they're hyping it up and just like spreading love, and a lot of people seem to be receptive to it. So the synopsis follows: nobody knows why the skyscraper-sized mechs known as Giga fought their bitter centuries-long war. All they know is that when the fighting finally stopped, the dormant Giga became humanity's new habitat and new gods in one. When disgraced engineer Evan Calhoun finds an apparently murdered Giga, his society and the fascistic, tech-centered religious order that controls it are rapidly thrown into chaos. From writer Alex Packnadell and rising star John Lee comes another Vault and White Noise partnership about what happens after the mech stop fighting. So here again, I've been seeing, like, because I follow Vault Comics and some of the people behind them, like, that work for Vault, and like they're always talking about it and just hyping up, talking about the final order cutoff, whenever that was, and just retweeting and showing all the love that the title has been getting pre-release. So now that it's out, like, now a lot more fans are going to get their hands on it, and we're going to see some more reception to it. Again, it seems to be like been crazy positive. So all power to them. Their Vault Comics is a publisher that I frequently shout out. I'm always talking about trying to spread indie love. So like publishers who are steadily growing and providing like cool, interesting stories, engaging like titles that people seem to be loving. Like, I'm always about sharing that love and spreading that and putting it into people's minds, just to kind of spread people's awareness, or spread the awareness for people, as well as maybe open up people's eyes and kind of just expand their horizons, their reading tastes. Like, hey, you know what? These are a lot of other titles out there. A lot of publishers were growing and producing good stuff and have a lot of favor with the public. So I'm always about spreading that. And then we jump over to Boom Studios, because here is Unkindness of Ravens #2, the follow-up to what I will call easily one of the most unexpectedly enjoyable reads I've read this year. The Unkindness of Ravens #1. Like, I just going into it, I just know, all right, so we got some witches and like this girl in this school. Like, okay, what can we really expect with this? But then like I think the pre-release stuff like wasn't like the promotion material wasn't the best. It didn't do justice to what it was actually going to offer up. So I kind of wrapped up on the main character, Wilma, and kind of connecting with this group of like this coven of witches at her school, at her new school, and this other clique who are like, okay, the kind of like a Mean Girls kind of vibe. So they got that going on, and it's like, oh, you know what? This was actually a surprisingly good read. So I'm all in. Like, I want to read #2. So #2 is Wilma's being courted by the Ravens, a group of witches who want her to join their coven. But Scarlet, the most popular girl in school, wants Wilma for herself. The Ravens say that Scarlet is dangerous, but everything will be fine, won't it? Probably not, because that's just how it is. That's high school, and you got witches involved. It's just something madness. So, Unkindness of Ravens, #2, Boom Studios. I'm a publisher. I always shout them out because they always have cool stuff. And this one, again, I always had to shout this one out because that first issue was like, I really didn't have, I had low expectations, or not, I don't say low expectations. I just didn't have any. I was like, all right, let me check this out. People seem to like it, and it just kind of sold, like it sold pretty well, apparently. So I was like, oh, let me check this out. And I was like, oh, wow, this is a good read. And I do occasionally check into some witch stuff, like Coffin Hill, and I'm trying to think of some other witch stories out there that I've checked into. Like, occasionally there's some cool stuff, magic stories, I usually kind of keep those limited just because I'm just not as hyped into it. Like Satana I dig, and Doctor Strange, and a couple other ones. A lot of indie stuff, again, with Coffin Hill from Vertigo was one. So, like, dark arts and supernatural type stuff like that. So, again, Unkindness Ravens #2. It's out, Boom Studios. Go check this out. You like witch stuff and kind of that mixed with like some, I don't want to say high school clique stuff, but there is some of that seemingly going on. But we'll see how it goes and see how it plays out with the witches and their, like, all the stuff that they've shown to do in the first issue, kind of seeing how that branches out. So looking forward to checking this out. So nice, a strong debut, and hopefully it follows up with another good issue. So looking forward to checking that out, and all power to Boom Studios as well as Vault Comics. We're dropping out cool stuff. But that's not all, because as I said, there are tons of cool books out here. Obviously, TMNT, The Last Ronin, which I talked about in my video yesterday. If you haven't gone to check that out, go watch that. Interesting book, and curious to see where it goes now that they've already revealed who the surviving brother is. And Exosword Stasis is out. We got tons of stuff all over. Spawn 311, got the cool Chadwick Boseman Black Panther as Chadwick Boseman as Black Panther as Spawn tribute cover there. RIP Chadwick Boseman. And Autumnal #2. So yeah, a lot of cool stuff all around the industry. So go check this out. Let me know what you're picking up this week, what you're interested in reading. If you haven't picked up your books yet, what are some other books that caught your eye? And I'm always curious if anybody's trying out any new books that they haven't read before, regardless if it's just starting or if it's in the middle of a run, story arc, whatever. Just dive right in. That's what comics. Let's have some fun. So share your thoughts. New Comic Day in the comments below. That's gonna wrap it up for this week's New Comic Day Blast. Happy reading, happy hunting, happy collecting. This is GENOTHADRAGON. Thanks for watching, and peace out.